Good morning, dear students. How are you all? Hello, Itanagar. Okay, only one student is present right now. Hello, Shillong students. How are you? Okay, so centers, please report your attendance and we'll begin right away. Okay. So, dear students, in the last class, we had covered a few things about the morphology. So, I have also sent you some notes and PowerPoint presentation regarding this. I hope you all have received it. Everybody has received it, I believe. Yeah. So, Shillong, Itanagar, okay, one student is present. Shillong, I can see one. Okay, 2, 3. All right. So, other centers also, please report your attendance. Okay. Hello, Taminglong. Hello, Senapati students. How are you? All right. So, we'll begin now. I have sent you some notes regarding the morphology and anatomy as well. So, I'll be sharing all these things with you. And regarding the PowerPoint presentation, look, it covers not everything, but it covers most important things of all. Okay. So, it's like a summary for you all. So, I believe you will benefit from it. And the inflorescence PowerPoint, you'll need Google Slides to open it all. And you can see a lot of images there. And I have given a lot of examples there as well. Okay, so it will be very helpful, I believe. Okay, so if you have any doubts regarding that, let me know. All right. So continuing where I left off, in the last class we had discussed about flower. Okay, so when we were talking about flower, we were discussing about the types of inflorescence. Okay, so types of inflorescence till now it has been covered. Okay, so I was telling you about racemose, I was telling you about cymose. So racemose, cymose, these are types of inflorescences. So racemose is in definite axis, cymose is definite axis. And after that we have done the details of the flower. Okay, calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. Okay, so today what we are going to do is we will try to finish this chapter. A few things remain. I will also discuss the families of angiosperms with you, and fruit, seed, etc. So we have a lot to do today. Okay. So students, are you revising during this time as well? Are you solving questions? Because you need to solve a lot of questions. So my next thing is I'm going to give you a lot of questions as well. So try to solve them and discuss them with me. Feel free to discuss them with me. Okay. All right. So let's begin away. Okay. So the thing is, we were doing morphology. So do you remember what was the last topic we had done? We were discussing about estivation. All the droppers. Estivation we were discussing. Okay. So I told you about various kinds of estivation. All right. Okay. Students, can you hear me? Okay. So I believe everybody is listening. So yeah. So we were discussing about estivation, and what was the last estivation we discussed? We had discussed about vexillary estivation. Okay. So you remember vexillary estivation? Just raise your hands if you remember. Okay. You remember vexillary estivation? I told you that it was a very important estivation, and it's a characteristic feature of which family? It is a characteristic feature of the family of angiosperms, which is called Fabaceae. All right. So estivation we had done. Just a second. The most important estivation out of all these is the vexillary estivation. This is the standard petal. Then we had the two extra petals called the keel, and the last one was the carina. Sorry, these are the wings, and this is the carina. Keel or carina. Okay. So please remember, in estivation, vexillary estivation is the most important thing. In the other estivation, the question can be asked from valvate estivation or twisted. Imbricate is sometimes asked. Normally it's not a common question, but auxiliary estivation is the most common estivation that is asked from you people. Okay. So now you remember all this. Let's move on. After estivation, what is remaining now? We are going to finish this chapter today. Now we have to complete the characteristics of androecium. Okay. So now we have to complete about androecium. Okay. Okay. Students, I did not think I had started androecium. So estivation was the last thing. So androecium we are going to start now. Androecium. Now what do you understand by androecium according to you? How do you define androecium? How do you define androecium? It's not difficult. It's a male reproductive organ. But since it's a male reproductive organ, we the question sometimes it has been asked, what is the particular unit of this floral part? Calyx unit is sepal, corolla unit is petal, androecium unit is what do you say is anther. Okay, and it has two parts. It has a first the swollen part contains the anther lobes, and the filamentous part is called the filament. Okay, pollen grains are the manufactured inside the anther lobes. Okay, yeah, very good, Itanagar. So the thing is, how many anther lobes do most angiosperms contain? They contain two anther lobes, and each anther lobe has two pollen chambers. So basically they have 4. Now the question is asked on the exceptions. Which plant or which family will normally have only single lobed anther? So that family is Malvaceae. So let's do it quickly. Androecium, the unit of androecium, is stamen. And each stamen will consist of 2 parts. Each stamen consists of 2 parts. Okay, and you call this anther, and you call this filament. Now between these things, between the anther lobes, is another thing called a connective. Connective joins the 2 anther lobes together. Okay, this is the connective. It has not been mentioned in NCERT, that is why I am trying to mention it here. It's called connective. Okay. Connective is actually composed of vascular part. It contains xylem and phloem for the growth of the anther. Okay, so basically it has all the nutrients and everything for the growth of anther. Okay, now you will write this important point, that most families of angiosperms will contain only a single anther lobe. But yeah, okay. So write this now. Most families of angiosperms will contain two anther lobes except Malvaceae, except in some plants of Malvaceae. Example, hibiscus rosa sinensis, China rose or hibiscus flower, contains single anther lobe only. This is hibiscus anther lobe. This is hibiscus anther lobe, single anther lobe. Okay. Anther, single anther lobe, one anther lobe. Okay, hibiscus. And there is another exception in hibiscus, besides hibiscus, sorry. Hibiscus has two pollen chambers, but there is one plant, Arceuthobium minutissime. It has only single anther lobe and also has only single pollen chamber. Okay, so this is another exception. I will discuss this when I will teach you sexual reproduction in flowering plants in detail. Right now, this much is sufficient. Okay, all right. Now about androecium. Androecium is composed of stamens, all right. But now we have to discuss another topic called cohesion of stamens. Please put the subheading, cohesion of stamens. What does cohesion mean? Cohesion means force. Okay, sorry, not yet copied. Okay, please write it. Yeah, please write it quickly. Okay, yeah, please write it quickly and then we'll move on. Okay. So moving on. All right, yeah, okay. So let's talk about cohesion of stamens. By cohesion of stamens, we need to discuss something about cohesion and adhesion. Look, cohesion means attraction between some things which have a similar nature. Cohesion means attraction between similar particles or similar things. Okay, and adhesion means attraction between dissimilar things. Like Favicol is an adhesive. Okay, Fevicol is an, Fevikwik is an adhesive. It joins dissimilar things. Like paper can be made to attach to wall or something like anything like that, wood or something. So that is adhesion. But cohesion means attraction between similar elements, similar things. So now we are talking about cohesion of stamens. So stamens can be grouped together. They can be grouped separately. Okay. So this is called cohesion. When all the stamens form a single bundle, this is called monoadelphy or monoadelphous condition. This is cohesion of stamen. If all the stamens form two groups or two bundles, it is called diadelphous condition. And if they form many different bundles, it is called polyadelphous condition. Now we have to learn the examples related to this because these are what are asked in the examination. So please write this now. If all the stamens form a single bundle or single group or united into a single group, this condition is called monoadelphous. It's called monoadelphous. Okay. Example is hibiscus or China rose. Hibiscus, botanical name is hibiscus, common name is China rose or hibiscus or so many names. Okay. All right. This is the China rose. All right. So monoadelphous condition, if you want to see, take a hibiscus flower and carefully remove the petals, okay? And when you remove the petals, you will, the thing that is very obvious, very easy to see, is a red colored structure in the middle, okay? A red colored tube-like structure in the middle. If you carefully remove the tube, you will find that this tube is hollow. And inside this hollow tube is a white colored structure, which is the stigma and the style. If you carefully remove the red colored outer part, you will see all the stamens, they will come out from this tube, and they will be coming out in the form of a single bundle. So this is called a monoadelphous condition. So you take a China flower today, yeah, it's blooming these days, very easy to find anywhere. So I hope you have a lot of China flower hibiscus plants around you. So take one flower and peel the petals off and carefully remove the petals, everything. And look at the central structure which has the stamens, okay, the tube-like structure. And carefully use a ball pen, use any needle, etc. And you can peel off, make a hole inside that and try to dissect it away. And when you dissect it, you will see all the stamens will come out in the form of a single bundle. So this is monoadelphous condition. Moving on. If all the stamens form two bundles or two groups together, then it is called diadelphous condition. Diadelphous condition. Example is Pisum sativum or pea flower. In pea plant, what happens is there are two bundles. One bundle has only one stamen, the other bundle has 9 stamens. So this is called diadelphous condition. Okay? All right. Sorry, just a second. Okay. Now there is another condition called polyadelphous condition. If all stamens form multiple bundles, multiple groups or bundles, then this condition is called polyadelphous condition. Example, citrus. So if you have a citrus family plant anywhere, if you have a lemon tree, if you have orange tree, or you have a mandarin tree, so all these are species of citrus. Citrus auriculata, citrus reticulata, citrus I'm repeating it, citrus lemona. So all these are varieties of citrus. And all citrus flowers show 5 bundles. Actually it is 5 bundles, but we call it polyadelphous. It can be 5 or more than 5. We do not concern ourselves with this, okay. It is called polyadelphous condition. Example, citrus. Okay. All right. Okay, this is done. Okay. There is another condition that we study in detail in class 12. It is called difference in the length of stamen. Difference in the length of stamen and difference in the cohesion of stamens. So there is a term which is not mentioned in the NCERT, but it is important because it has been mentioned, and it concerns the condition of mustard flower. Okay, it concerns the condition of mustard flower. So in mustard, there are 6 stamens. Now this is different from polyadelphous. I'm marking this separately. This is different from polyadelphous. I'm writing this in a separate box. The total stamens are 6 and arranged in two plus 4 type arrangement, in which 4 stamens are of different length than the outer 2 stamens. So it will be quite detailed if I write everything, called tetradynamous condition. Tetradynamous condition. Okay, tetradynamous condition. In tetradynamous condition, I also write the different length of stamens as well. This is called tetradynamous condition. Please remember this. This is an important term. This condition has been mentioned, but the term is not written in NCERT. Okay, so this is very important. Questions like this, they have a high probability of coming. Also in mustard, there is a unique condition called the cruciform corolla. All mustard flower is called a tetramerous flower. All flower parts are in the multiple of number 4. Okay, and in this flower, the calyx is 4 sepal. Petals are 4 and they are arranged in the form of Christian cross. So it is called a cruciform corolla. I have not yet mentioned this, but since we are discussing mustard, just write another important point on the top of your margin somewhere. It might be asked in the examination in your NEET. In mustard, petals are positioned together in the form of a cross, called cruciform corolla. Cruciform corolla. Okay, so it is arranged in the form of a cross, so that is why it is called a cruciform corolla. Okay, so this is all about androecium. We have to discuss androecium. Important point is about cohesion of stamens. Okay, now we move on to gynoecium. If you see the notes that I have given today, I have explained placentation in there and a few other things as well. So now put the heading gynoecium. Okay, so please finish writing, then I'll explain what this is all about. Okay. So the thing is, when we talk about gynoecium, it is the female reproductive part. Okay, it is the female reproductive part. And the thing is, in the female reproductive part, what is the unit? Does anybody remember the unit of gynoecium? What is the unit of gynoecium? What is the gynoecium composed of? Like petal is the unit of corolla. Sepal is the unit of calyx. So what is the unit of gynoecium? Can anybody answer this? Let's see how much you know already. Can I get a quick answer on this? What is the unit of gynoecium? Is it ovary? Is it stigma? Is it style, or it is something else? What is gynoecium composed of? Or maybe somebody can say ovule also. I'm not sure. So you tell me, what is the unit of gynoecium? No guesses? Ovary. Itanagar is guessing ovary. Anybody else? Okay. Carpel, yeah. Shillong, very good. I have maybe told you this or not, but carpel is a unit of ovary. Yeah. That is why I said, is it something else? Carpel is a unit of ovary, and each carpel is composed of three things: stigma, style, ovary. Okay. Ovary is the last part, and the distinguishing part of the ovary is the carpel. So ovary is just a part of carpel. It's not the complete thing. So what you will write here? Unit of gynoecium. And what is carpel composed of? What is carpel composed of? Anybody? Or what is carpel the modification of? Carpel is a modification of the leaf. Okay, just telling you this. The unit of gynoecium is carpel. It is believed that leaf is modified into carpel. Okay, all right. And carpel has three parts. Carpel has three parts: stigma, style, and ovary. So if I draw this, this is the stigma, this is the style, and this is the ovary. Okay, so this is the stigma, this part is the style, and this much part is the ovary. Okay, this much part is the ovary. Okay, so this much part is the ovary. So sigma, style, and ovary. Okay, so now moving on. What does ovary contain? Ovary contains ovules. Ovary contains ovules. So ovary contains ovules. And if you go inside the ovule, you will find the embryo sac. Inside the embryo sac, you will find the egg. And the egg is the cell which is the female gamete. Okay? Ovary contains ovules. And there can be single ovule also. There can be multiple ovule also. Now, we have to write about the condition of ovary and the ovules. So, first of all, we must write about the thing called carpel. Okay. Now, carpel condition and some things you have to write down. Okay. Apocarpus condition. What is apocarpus condition? Apocarpus condition. These are condition of carpels or ovary. Okay. So, what is apocarpus condition? Anybody? What is apocarpus condition? Okay. How many of you have seen a lotus seed or lotus fruit? How many of you have seen it? Yeah, very good, Shillong students. Carpels are not fused. So if you have seen a lotus fruit, it has a green spongy mass, and all what happens in that is all the different carpels, they are not fused together, they are free. They are present at separate points. And when you see this fruit, you will find the seeds are also separate. Their seeds are not sticking to each other. So this is called apocarpous condition. When the carpels are not fused but they are free, it is called apocarpous condition. And you can see lotus fruit, when the lotus flower is converted into the lotus fruit, it is very easy to observe this condition. And the lotus seeds, do you eat lotus seeds, anybody? Lotus seeds, are they edible? Just raise your hands if you know this, yes or no. Lotus seeds are edible, and normally we use the roasted lotus seeds, and they are called foxnut, or in Hindi we call it makhana. Okay, so these are the roasted lotus nuts, lotus seeds, or they are roasted water lily seeds. Okay, nymphia or Neelambo nucifera. When the carpels are free and not fused, when the carpels are free and not fused together, this condition is called apocarpous. This condition is called apocarpous condition. Okay? All right. Now there is another condition, syncarpous. Syncarpous, when the carpels are fused. So write this quickly. Syncarpous is the condition when carpels are fused together. When carpels are fused together. Yeah, example is lotus. Lotus is Neelambo nucifera. Botanical name of lotus is Neelambo nucifera. Just write Neelambo. When carpels are fused together, this condition is called syncarpous condition. Syncarpous condition. Okay. Example, mustard, Brassica campestris. It's important that I write the full name in case of mustard, because Brassica has many species. Brassica oleracea, Brassica capit, yeah, there are endless species of Brassica, okay? Brassica rapa, Brassica napus. So I must write Brassica campestris, otherwise there will be a lot of confusion. What is the species I am talking about? Okay, things like this. Mustard, and the other example you can write is, yeah, you have written this, everybody? Okay, and then you can write tomato. Tomato's botanical name is Lycopersicum esculentum. Lycopersicum esculentum. But even if you remember Lycopersicum, it is sufficient. Esculentum. Look, the botanical names are tough to remember, but as much as we practice it, okay, it will be easy to remember. So it is tough to remember, I understand, and I can give you a separate list of how you can learn these names. But right now, as much as the names which are repetitive, please try to remember them. Don't try to forget them, okay? All right. Now we have to study something called, what is the placenta? What is the placenta and what is the definition of placenta? What is the purpose of placenta? Anybody? What is the purpose of placenta? In animals, in all organisms, what is the general purpose of placenta? Anybody? So what is the purpose of placenta? Arrangement of ovaries maybe. Not exactly, but a good guess. I'll explain. Look, ovary arrangement, just think of your body, think of human's body. In here, if we want to arrange the ovaries, it's not related to that. Placenta develops for the embryo. Placenta is not for the mother. Placenta is not for the mother. Okay? Placenta, in some animals, the placenta, whole placenta comes out. In humans' case, some part of placenta maybe come out. But the thing is, placenta develops for the future generation, for the children. So why does placenta develop here? Look, try to remember a general principle. Thing is, when a seed is forming, or a baby is forming, or a baby plant is forming, or a baby animal is forming, the thing is, it is growing at a very, very fast rate. It is growing at a very, very fast rate, and it needs a lot of energy. It needs a lot of food. It needs a lot of nutrients. But the purpose of the zygote or the embryo is to focus solely on the cell division or the growth. Okay, they have the function of this only. But if they want to focus on absorbing the food, then it will become an entirely different story. If the same cell is absorbing and the same cell is dividing also, it is doing everything, now this cell will lose its purpose. Such cells are called cancerous cells. Cancer cell does not have any special structure for absorption. It absorbs all nutrients by itself and it grows by itself. But that is not the case with the babies. Babies have to grow only, and if they receive proper food and nutrition, they will grow. If they do not receive it, they will die. This is the same case with all plants and all animals. Okay, so how do we solve this problem? The problem is solved by the mother developing the parent plant developing or a parent animal developing a supporting tissue called the placenta. The purpose of placenta is to absorb the nutrition from the mother's side and supply it to the growing tissue mass of cells called the embryo, whether in plants or in animals. The purpose is always the same, to provide nutrition and support to the growing future generation. Clear? So write the definition of placenta now. What is the placenta? In the case of plants, how do we define placenta? The purpose is clear. Placenta, please write. The ovules are attached, just a second. The ovary has many ovules, which are attached to. Now why are they attached? Because they will receive nutrition from it. That is why they are attached. Which are attached to the flattened cushion-like tissue called placenta. And what is the purpose of placenta? It provides nutrition to the growing plant. It provides nutrition to the growing plant. In the case of plants, it provides nutrition to the growing plant. Now we should write about gynoecium. Write about arrangement of ovules on the placenta, or the arrangement of ovules within the ovary. Okay. Please put the heading placentation. Placentation is not the arrangement of placenta. it refers exactly to the arrangement of ovules. So now, bio becomes quite confusing maybe. The reason is because there are a lot of terms which should have been put in a different sense. Okay, so you could somebody could say it was the arrangement of ovules, but arrangement of ovules, if it was called ovulation, then ovulation has a altogether different meaning. Ovulation was already defined in animals, so it means the release of ovule. So it could not be called ovulation. So somebody said, let us call it placentation. So that is how it happened. Anyway, so this is a confusing term, but it has less to do with placenta and more to do with ovules. So write the definition of placentation. The arrangement of ovules within the ovary is called placentation. The arrangement ovules within the ovary is called placentation. Okay. All right now. So we have to study a lot of different types of placentation. And what, okay, let us do things one at a time. Now let me explain to you what placentation is all about. Look, what happens in case of primitive plants, in primitive plants like gymnosperms, the ovules are naked. They are arranged in a primitive fashion, in a primitive way on the leaf. Okay, and this is a modified leaf. It bears a lot of ovules. So you can say that the ovules are present on the margins of a leaf, simply, just like it happens in cycas. So these are naked ovules. But when you come to the angiosperms, now there is a problem. The ovules should be protected because the ovules have a lot of nutrition. So this nutrition can be stolen by the predators. Okay, by predators I mean herbivores, not the ferocious predators. Can be eaten up by animals. Now if they destroy the ovules, the seed will not be formed. So plant will be at a loss. So angiosperms have learned to cover this ovary. How will they cover this? They will form a protective covering just by folding of the leaf. The leaf will fold itself and it will protect itself. And this folding, the outer layer, is called the ovary wall. Now try to understand. Fertilized ovule converts into seed, and ripened ovary wall converts into fruit. So what is fruit? Fruit is ripened ovary wall. And inside this fruit, seeds are present. In the initial stage, when the fertilization has not happened, ovules will be arranged. Now we have to study this arrangement of ovules inside the ovary. Okay, that is what is called placentation. So now I will tell you about the most simple kind of placentation called the marginal placentation. In marginal placentation, what happens is ovules are arranged on either side, on the margins. Suppose you have a book and I am trying to tell you this. Suppose this is a leaf. Okay, compare this book to a leaf, a single leaf. This ovule, this leaf is going to be modified into ovary. And what is the best place? Suppose this is a simple leaf, not a compound leaf. What is the best place for the arrangement of ovules? Anybody? What is the best place for arrangement of ovules? The margin. Here, here, here. The margins will be covered with ovules. It will be the best place for the development of ovule. Now, the ovule have to be protected, so the leaf folds itself. Now, if you see it like this, okay, this, if you cut a cross section, the seed will be present here. The seed will be present on this side, on the margin side, like this. Okay, seed will be present like here, this here. And the thing is, seeds are arranged linearly on both the margins on the inner side. They are non-overlapping, so one margin will not cross the ovules of the other margin. This is the simplest kind of placentation called the marginal placentation. This is the simplest kind of placentation called the marginal placentation. Alright? And where do you see this marginal placentation? In the case of P. Okay? So everybody who has helped their mothers or fathers at the home in making their food, everybody contributes in some manner. For example, my mother asks me to peel a lot of peas when she's making some pulao. Okay, you know, a lot of dishes. Okay, so used with the pea. Okay, sometimes you people make Maggi with the pea, a lot of peas and veggies and so many things. Okay, so the thing is, if you have opened a pea, okay, which side is the best for opening a pea? There is only one side from which P can be successfully opened. If you try to open it from the other side, the opposite side, you will not be able to open it. If you try to open it from the other side, okay, you can open it from here. But if you try to open it from the other side, now there will be a problem. Why? Because this is a leaf. In the center of the leaf, what part is there? Midrib. A midrib is very strong. Sorry. So, if you want to try to open the P from the other side, you will face a lot of failures, okay? The P will not open from the other side. I hope you are aware of this, okay? So that is the simplest kind of placentation called the marginal placentation. Called the marginal placentation, okay? Alright, so let's do this marginal placentation. There are many different types of placentation. First of all, let's do the marginal placentation. In marginal placentation, what happens is, let's take this example. This is an example of P, and all the ovules are arranged like this in P on the margins in non-overlapping fashion. And if you cut a cross section, it will look like this. It will look like this. This is the ovule or the seed. Okay. Fertilized ovule is the seed. This is the cross section. So what you will write about marginal placentation? The ovules are arranged on the margin. In marginal placentation, the placenta is present along ventral suture of ovary and ovules are present along the margins. Ovules present along the margins, called marginal placentation. Example is P, pisum. Okay, so please note this quickly. After this, we'll move on. Okay, all right. So this is the case of marginal placentation. Let's move on. Now there is another kind of placentation called the axile placentation. So let's try to understand about axile placentation. Now when I talk about axile placentation, what I'm trying to do here, look, in axile placentation there is not a single leaf which is involved. There is not a single carpel which is involved. Multiple leaves or multiple carpels will be involved. And how will they be involved? Suppose this is a single leaf. Okay, this is a single leaf. Now try to imagine this leaf along with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Suppose the leaves are focusing on merging together. These leaves are coming together, these carpels are coming together and they are fusing together. So this is one leaf or one carpel and there is another on the back side of it, opposite side, then 3, 4, 5 and 6. Suppose 6 or 5 carpels are fusing together, okay, and their margins are on the inner side. So what will happen? This condition will arise. This condition will arise, what I am drawing here. This condition will arise. And where will the seeds be present or ovules will be present? The seeds or ovules will be present here on the central side. Okay, so here 6 have merged. If 5 have merged together, I will call it pentacarpellary. And where do you see this condition? Please try to see the example of lemon. You cut a lemon and you see 6 chambers inside. Everybody remembers where the seeds are inside the lemon. Okay, so when you cut a lemon, you will find seeds on the center. And the center, all the chambers are separated by septum. This is the septum. This is the septum. Okay, and the seeds are present in the center. So what you will write about axile placentation? When the placenta forms an axis or is axial in position, when the placenta is present at axial position, forms an axis and ovules develop and ovules attached ovules are attached to it as in multilocular ovary, attached to it. Please write in bracket multilocular ovary. This is possible only in multilocular ovary. If it is not multilocular, it is not axile placentation. Multilocular ovary. Multilocular ovary. Okay, this is called axile placentation. Axile placentation. Example. The examples are China rose. Again, China rose is a good example of so many things. Tomato. Tomato's botanical name is Lycopersicum esculentum. I don't need to remind you. And lemon. Citrus lemona. China roses hibiscus, Rosa sinensis. Okay. All right. Then there is a different kind of placentation called parietal placentation. I have given you these notes also, how the ovules are arranged. If you opened what I gave you today, parietal placentation. In all the above types of placentation, in both axile and let's talk about the simplest marginal placentation. So ovule is present along the margin, and what happened in axile, the ovules are coming on the inside. Ovules are coming in the center. Now try to imagine a situation that the leaf has made a different decision, and this leaf is saying, now I will fuse in such a way that my midrib was on the inside and ovules are on the outside. So try to imagine this is one leaf. Now try to imagine one leaf which is opposite to this, like this. One leaf, second leaf, and now there is a third leaf or a third carpel below it. So what condition you will get? You will get this kind of condition. Three carpels fusing together, and now the ovules, they are present on the margin. Like this. Where have you seen this condition? For all the people who like to eat a lot of salad. Okay. For all the people who want to eat a lot of salad. Can you remember where you find this condition? In cucumber. In cucumber you can find this condition. The ovules are present on the periphery. So please write this, what is present in parietal placentation. The ovules develop on the inner wall of ovary or the peripheral part. The ovules develop on the inner part of ovary, or the peripheral part. That is why it is looking like there is a circle and all the ovules are present on the inner margin. Okay. So you have the examples of mustard and argemone, Brassicaceae family mainly. Mustard, Brassica campestris, and then there is Argemone mexicana, which is a poisonous plant, poisonous seed plant, Argemone mexicana. Prickly poppy, this is a very common weed, prickly poppy. Prickly poppy plant. This is the common name of this. It has yellow colored flowers, leaves all have a spiny margin. Suppose you are playing cricket and your ball goes very far off somewhere, and you might find these plants growing in the wasteland, okay, going on the wasteland, some remote areas, okay, just maybe outside your colonies and all that. There you can find this plant. Okay. Now, please try to come back to the what we have studied here. Now, let's come back for the exile placentation. In the exile placentation here, you can see there are a lot of septum present. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 septum you can count here. Okay. In tomato, there will be only 5 chambers. Now, what will happen if the septum gets dissolved? If the septum gets dissolved in exile placentation, what will happen? If the septum is dissolved, all the seeds will be present in the form of a central axis. They will be formed around the central axis. They will be like hanging to the central axis. So this is called free central placentation. You can compare it to the exile placentation. Free central placentation. Free central, put the heading. Free central placentation. So, when the ovules are present on the central axis and septum are absent, when the ovules are present on the central axis, and septa are absent, this condition is called This condition is called free central placentation. Free central placentation. So example is dianthus. Dianthus flowers, do you remember? What is dianthus? Dianthus is carnation. Maybe you have seen these flowers, very beautiful flowers. Carnation flowers also have a very particular condition called the caryophyllaceous corolla. In this, the corolla is present at an angle of 90 degree. It forms a 90 degree hood. Okay, 90 degree hood. It is called caryophyllaceous corolla, dianthus. Carnation is also used to make a very sweet French perfume. Do you remember anything about carnation? Carnation flowers are very beautiful. Maybe you don't know, or maybe you do, but you haven't seen it yet. And the other example is primrose. So now placentation is done. One more example remains. Basal placentation. Basal placentation remains. Basal placentation. Basal placentation. Okay. Basal placentation is a special kind of placentation, and it is considered the most advanced type of placentation. So please write this here in bracket. Most advanced type of placentation. Most advanced type of placentation is basal placentation. Okay. What happens in basal placentation? You can say here, placenta develops here. The placenta develops at the base of ovary. At the base of ovary, and a single ovule is attached. Single ovule is attached to it. It is a characteristic feature of Asteraceae family. Okay. Attached to it. Example, sunflower. Sunflower botanical name is Helianthus annuus. Just write Helianthus. Other example of Asteraceae family is Tagetes erectus or marigold. Tagetes. Most common flower. Most common flower. Okay. What happens here? You can draw the diagram here. It is present like this. Single ovule is attached to it here. And the ovule is, you can see, ovule is coming out from the base. Ovule is coming out from the base here, like this. Okay, this is the ovule which is coming out from the base. This is the basal placentation. Okay. Now flower is officially finished. Okay. Officially flower is finished. And now we can carry on to the fertilized ovary called the fruit. And then we will study the fertilized ovule called the seed. So now please put the heading to a very, very important topic. And you must have seen a lot of questions from this. Okay. So please put the heading fruit. Please put the heading fruit. Please put the heading fruit. Okay. Alright, so how do you define a fruit? How do you define a fruit? I have already told you. So just try to do it quickly. How do you define a fruit? How do you define a fruit? Anybody? How do you define a fruit? Please do it quickly. Mature part of flower. No, not a mature part of flower. You must be specific. Flower is a ripened, fruit is a ripened ovary. Fruit is a ripened ovary. I just told you. Look, try to imagine eating a capsicum. Okay. When you cut a capsicum, what do you see inside? Seeds are present on the inside. When you cut a tomato, seeds are present on the inside. But what is this outer layer? You have seen an unripe tomato, you have seen unripe capsicum, or you have seen, suppose let's talk about chilies. So chilies are in the beginning, they are very small. Chilies in the beginning, they are very small. And it is growing in the size. The seeds do not grow to a large extent. The size of seeds does not change very much. But the size of outer ovary wall changes significantly. It becomes huge. Alright, are you trying to understand what I'm trying to tell you here? So this is what the change in condition is happening. The ovary wall is increasing in thickness and size. It is increasing in the thickness gradually. Alright, so this is the fruit. Okay. Now, how does fruit develop? Fruit develops in response to the developing seed. What is the significance of fruit? The fruit is developed by the plant because it understands very well, the plant understands this. Plant understands this, okay. Plants have a lot of communication with the animals we just do not know about. Okay, I can give you a lot of examples how plants communicate with the animals, or they know exactly about us. Although they do not have sense organs, but it is very surprising that they know a lot of things, a lot of personal things about the animals, their bodies. Normally, we cannot also judge people, but plants are able to judge animals. I can show you a lot of examples, but let us save this discussion for another time. So that is what the surprising aspects of science and biology are. We cannot expect such things to happen. The plants do not have sense organs, yet they know so many things about us. Okay? So for another time. So the plant develops fruit in order for the seeds to be dispersed. If an animal eats the fruit, it will spread the seeds to a different location. But why the plant does not drop its fruit on the same location? Why does the plant not develop its fruit and drop the fruit at the same location where the plant is growing? Why doesn't it do something like this? Anybody else wants to answer this? Why does the plant not form all the fruits and drop them at the same location, or drop the seeds at the same location? What is the purpose of having a fruit at all? Why waste so much energy in forming the fruit? Anybody? Can you guess? Okay, nobody is guessing also. Maybe, okay, yeah, maybe it's because of the weather. Alright, I'll explain. If all the seeds are present at the same location and they are not spreading out, it will lead to a lot of competition called intra-specific competition. This is not interspecific. Intra is more severe than interspecific. So all the plants, they will find for the same nutrients, same minerals, same chemicals, same water content, everything. And what will result? What will be the net result? A lot of plants of that species will die. They can live in harmony with the other plants, but they cannot live within themselves because everybody has the same requirement. Everybody has the same requirement. For example, the people who have siblings, younger or elder siblings, they will understand this. In the case of twins, it becomes very difficult for the parents, all the twins have same requirements. All the twins have same requirements. They will require 2 sets of clothes. They will require 2 sets of books. Everything will be required in double amount, okay? And if you have a younger sibling, you know very well that they are going to use their things. Sorry, they will know very well, your younger brother or younger sister knows that they are going to be wearing your clothes. They might not feel happy about it, but they will be doing this. They will use your books also, a lot of things, okay? So it becomes easy. Coexistence becomes easy. But if 2 plants or animals of same species, of same requirement, they are fighting among each other, there will be a lot of loss for both the members. Okay? So if 2 plants are growing in the same location for the fighting for the same nutrients, it will lead to loss of productivity for both the things. Okay? That is the central concept here. So please write, fruit is the ripened ovary wall. Ripened ovary wall. Fruit is the ripened ovary wall. Okay? Fruit is the ripened ovary wall. So, when you write fruit, write about this. Okay? So, let's move on now. Or you can also say ripened ovary. Ripened ovary is also correct. Now, it is developed, fruit formation begins after seeds have formed. Fruit formation begins after seeds have formed. So, you can say it develops, fruit starts developing after fertilization. Fruit starts developing after fertilization. After fertilization. And there is also another phenomenon. In some plants, fruit can be developed without fertilization. Fruit can be developed without fertilization. So, Itanagar, Shillong, and Tamenglong, other students, Senapati, please try to answer this. Can you name some fruits where the fruit develops without formation of seeds? Because if fertilization is not happening, seed will not be formed. Ovules will be present, seeds will not be formed. So, can you name some examples? Very good. Yeah. Please don't talk so much. Apple. No, not apple. Shillong, you are trying, yeah, I understand. Strawberry. No. Strawberry has seeds, but you don't find those seeds in the commercial plants. In strawberry, the edible part is a thalamus. Okay. In apple, the edible part is a thalamus also. Strawberry is an etary of achenes. Apple is a pome fruit. And we'll do this. Apple has true fruit and it develops, all the seeds can be developed into apple plants. Banana is, yeah, Senapati, very good. Shillong, banana. Banana, grapes, seedless watermelon, seedless citrus. No, not kiwi. Not kiwi. Okay. Seedless watermelon, seedless banana, seedless grapes are seedless. Then there are seedless citrus fruits, and there are a lot of other examples as well. Okay, seedless muskmelon, not very much required, but I'm just telling you. Okay, so such plants are called parthenocarpic. Parthenocarpy is important. Okay, some various examples can be there. Muskmelon is not important, but the other species are important. So please write this. However, look, exception is everywhere. However, in some fruits, the development of fruit can occur even without can occur without fertilization or seed formation, without fertilization or seed formation. So these fruits are called parthenocarpic or seedless fruits, without seed formation. Without seed formation. This phenomenon is called parthenocarpy. This phenomenon is called parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpy. Why some bananas have seeds? Because those bananas have do not have triploid set of chromosomes. Bananas are seedless because these are triploid. Grapes are seedless because these are triploid. But there are some grapes which have seeds. There are some bananas which have seeds. So the commercially cultivated banana varieties, these are having the very good examples of commercially cultivated are parthenocarpic. Okay. Whenever the number of chromosomes is something like 3n, 5n or 7n, 3, 5, 7n, something like this, odd number of chromosomes. So if the chromosome number is odd, meiosis will not happen. Meiosis can only happen in plants which have something like chromosomes which are having the even set of chromosomes. So the even set of chromosomes, so that will represent this. So even set of chromosomes, something like 4 chromosomes, 8 chromosomes, 12 chromosomes. So these are symmetrical. They can be symmetrically divided into 2 halves. So there the meiosis can happen. So seed forming banana that has even number of chromosome, and seedless banana or seedless grapes, they are having 3 sets of chromosome. They have an odd number of chromosomes. That is the reason. Okay. Parthenocarpy. Example: bananas, grapes. Normally these are seedless, so I am not writing seedless banana, seedless grapes, but you will write seedless watermelon, etc. Seedless watermelon also has 3 sets of chromosome or odd number of chromosome. We will study this in detail in sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Parthenocarpy. Moving on, look, I will have to give you a lot of examples related to this. We have to do something like this. Some common fruits, their edible part, and fruit type. We have to do some exercises like this. Now please try to understand this. The outer covering of the fruit, it is called pericarp. The outer covering of fruit is called pericarp. Now pericarp is divided into epicarp, mesocarp, endocarp. Pericarp is divided into epicarp, mesocarp, endocarp. Questions and examinations are based upon what is the edible part in this type of fruit. Okay, so a lot of questions have been asked, so I'll try to help you with this. Some very common fruits like mango. What is the edible part in mango? In mango, epicarp is the outer leathery coating. Okay, the outer thing which we do not eat. Okay, so that is the epicarp. All right. So pericarp is outer thin pericarp is non-edible. But if you are eating a mango pickle, then you are consuming epicarp also. But normally the edible part is mesocarp. Mesocarp. Mesocarp is fleshy. And endocarp is stony. Endocarp is stony. So when you eat a mango pickle, it has 3 parts. Mango pickle has 3 parts, all 3 parts. It has green colored outer part, it is pericarp. The thick middle part is the mesocarp, and the stony part is the endocarp. Endocarp is stony, we do not eat it. Okay. So you say it is, the edible part is only mesocarp. Fruit type is drupe. Drupe. In coconut, what is the edible part? Coconut is also a drupe. Can you answer this, everybody? What is the edible part in coconut? Edible part is a middle part, liquid part or solid part. So what is it? So what is it? Anybody? Endosperm. Very good, very good. Liquid endosperm. Only one term is missing, Shillong. Okay, only one word is missing. Liquid nuclear endosperm. Nuclear endosperm. I'll explain what is happening here. Look. In coconut, epicarp or epicarp is non-edible. In green coconut, the outer green thing, that is the pericarp. Sorry, epicarp. Mesocarp is the part from which coir fibers, coconut coir is made. And endocarp is stony. So you take the endocarp and you crash it down, okay, and then you break the coconut. So what you get inside is the complete seed. And in seed, what do we eat or what do we consume? That is a liquid nuclear endosperm. Coconut water is liquid nuclear endosperm. In liquid nuclear means there are a lot of cells in which cytokinesis has not happened, but karyokinesis is complete. So mitosis is happening in the endosperm cells, but they are not forming separate cells. So that is why it is liquid. Now when cell division is happening, now white colored cellulosic cell wall will be formed. That is the edible part or the endosperm which is edible converting into solid. That is for the nourishment of the developing embryo. Okay. So coconut is a drupe. Alright. And let's do this. Okay, now one more example. Look, there are a lot of examples. What I can do is give you a separate sheet for this. I will give you a separate sheet for this, and then you can complete this. So a lot of, I'll give you homework. If you're not able to complete it, I'll complete it for you. I will write some fruits and you'll write the edible part and their fruit type. The difficult ones I will write for you. Lychee, very important. Lychee is very, very important. Lychee, the edible part is, the name of lychee is Lychee chinensis, botanical name. Fleshy aril. The edible part is fleshy aril. Please try to remember this, very important for CBSE. It is actually a nut, but you can consider this later. Okay, then we have pomegranate. Balosta actually, but I am leaving it for you. Complete it by yourself. Actually, it's a balosta. Pomegranate. What is the edible part in pomegranate? Whoever has solved previous year question papers, they will understand this. Anybody? Nobody wants to answer this? What is the edible part in pomegranate? You eat the seed. You eat the seed. That is obvious. But what is the juicy part present outside? What is the juicy part? Okay, nobody? That is the juicy testa. Juicy testa. That is the edible part. Whatever I am leaving here, you will complete this by yourself. Lychee is a nut, pomegranate is a balosta, but try to find it by yourself. Then Orange. What is the audible part? The name of the fruit of orange is Hesperidium, but I'm leaving it. Orange. What is the edible part? Anybody? No one wants to answer these questions. Nobody? Okay, so if you want me to understand this, okay, orange, the thing is, in orange we eat the juicy placental hair. Juicy placental hair. No, not the mesocarp. In orange, the mesocarp is the white colored fibers that you peel out. Okay, in orange, the mesocarp is the white colored fiber and the part of the orange rind. The mesocarp is that. We do not eat the mesocarp. Okay, some people use it for other purposes, but that is not the edible part. Orange, juicy, placental hair. Placental hair. Okay. Then we have apple. Apple is very important also. Apple is very, very important. Apple. In apple, the actual fruit is present in the center, the part which we do not eat. And apple seeds contain a poison which is cyanide. Apple seeds contain cyanide. That is why apple seeds should never be consumed. Apple, pear, plum, peach. Never consume the seeds of these plants, these fruits, sorry. All of them contain cyanide. Okay. Cyanide is a poison. Everybody knows how powerful it is. So even there was a person who had consumed half a teacup of apple seeds and he died on the spot due to cyanide poisoning. Apple, the edible part is thalamus. The name of the apple fruit is pome, but I'm leaving it for you. Now write cashew nut. Cashew nut. Name of cashew nut is Anacardium occidental. Cashew nut. What is the edible part in cashew nut? Thalamus is eaten and also the cotyledons. Thalamus and cotyledons. Thalamus and cotyledons. You will complete it. It's a nut actually. Then tomato. Yeah, one more thing. Cashew nut thalamus is eaten in those areas where the cashew nut is produced. Cotyledons are eaten by us. We eat the seed. Seed represents the cotyledons. Okay. But cashew nut thalamus is not able to be transported to other areas. So the people who produce cashew nut, they eat the thalamus by themselves or they put it in the local market. Let's talk about tomato. So what is the edible part in tomato? What is the edible part in tomato? Nobody? Okay. Look, in tomato, whole fruit is consumed, okay? So the outer tomato contains, it represents the epicarp, mesocarp is the thick fleshy part, and we also consume the endocarp. Also we consume the placenta. Seeds are not consumed because they pass out from our intestine as such. Tomato seeds, they are so resistant and slippery, they pass out from our intestinal tract as such. Okay. So tomato, placentae and pericarp. Placentae and pericarp. Write the name of tomato fruit by yourself. Then banana. Banana. What is the edible part in banana? Anybody? What is the edible part in banana? Try to guess it. I understand you cannot know everything. But what do you eat in banana? Try to guess it. fruit has three parts: epicarp, mesocarp, endocarp. So banana, you peel off the banana neatly, and what do you eat inside? Epicarp is thrown off. You are consuming the mesocarp and the endocarp. And the placenta are present in the middle and the ovules. They are degenerating. Banana, you consume the mesocarp and endocarp. Pericarp is not consumed. They are thrown for the cattle. Okay. Banana is a berry. Banana is a berry. Banana is a berry. Strawberry. Strawberry. Somebody had asked me about strawberry. Seedless fruit. Strawberry is not seedless actually. Seeds are small, but the seeds are there. And what do we eat in strawberry? Thalamus. Raspberry. Strawberry. Strawberry is not a berry, it is an apiary of akene. Complete by this by yourself. Grape. Banana is important. Grape. Grape we consume pericarp complete. So that means epicarp, mesocarp, endocarp, everything. Whole pericarp is consumed. Grape is also a berry. So these examples I am giving you, and after this I'll give you some more examples in a sheet. Okay. So try to complete these examples. These are all very important. I am quoting you the most important examples which are asked many times in the exams. And out of these, the top ones: apple, pomegranate, banana, orange, lychee. Lychee is such a common question. I forgot how many times it has been asked. Maybe 10 times, 20 times, something like this. Lychee is very common. And lychee is a nut actually. Alright, so let's move on. So now we come on to the seed. So put the heading seed. Now how do you define a seed? How do you define a seed? How do you define a seed? Seed is a fertilized ovule. You can say seed is the fertilized ovule. Fertilized ovule. Okay. All right. And what are the parts of the seed? Endocarp, ovules after fertilization. No. Yeah, Itanagar, I'll clear this. You are answering ovules after fertilization, and then you are writing endocarp. No, endocarp is a part of, look, epicarp, mesocarp, endocarp. It's a part of fruit, okay. But that is not a part of seed. Seed is different. Seed is separated from this. Seed is separated. Okay. Seed is not a part of this. So now, yeah, by this I remembered another question. Try to find this out by yourself. Wheat. Okay. Wheat seed. Edible part and type of fruit. So the question that came was, what is the most consumed fruit in the world? Can you answer this? What is the most consumed fruit in the world? I just remembered this question. It is a very good question, conceptual question. What is the most consumed fruit in the world? Tomato. Very good guess, but it's not correct. It's not correct, sadly. Yeah. Anybody wants to guess anything else? Tomato. What? Yeah. Just want to know your answers. What are you trying to say this here? It's a good question. The answer will surprise you. Wheat. Yeah, very good. Itanagar. Itanagar has, Senapati has answered this correctly. Wheat is the most consumed fruit in the world. Wheat is Caryopsis. So, okay. So instead of wheat, the correct answer will be Caryopsis, because some people eat rice. Okay. So more than wheat, we consume rice. So actually wheat is not correct. Wheat, rice, cereals, all these are coming under Caryopsis fruit. The correct answer is Caryopsis, but wheat is a very, very good attempt by everyone. The answer is Caryopsis. Wheat is Caryopsis kind of fruit. The fruit type of wheat is Caryopsis. So the correct answer will be Caryopsis. Very good. Very happy you know this. Okay. So seed is the fertilized ovule, and seed is made up of seed coat and embryo. Seed is made up of seed coat and embryo. Seed coat and embryo. So now when you go home, try to take some gram seeds, or try to take some any sprout seeds that you know, and put it in water for some days. Put it in water for some days. Okay. So after a few days, what will happen is, just a second. After a few days, what will happen is, the seed will become larger in size. Okay. And a white colored structure starts coming out. A white colored structure starts coming out from the seed, like this. And the seed coat, that which is initially which is hard to break, it becomes very easy to separate from the seed. It becomes very easy to separate this from the seed. So this brown colored coating, or brown colored covering outside, it is called the seed coat. Seed coat. Okay. And the next thing is here, this thing is called the radicle. Radicle. Okay. Now please try to answer this. Seed is undergoing the germination. This is the germinating seed that I am showing you here. Okay. Now how does a seed perform, first question to you all is, does a seed undergo respiration? Does a seed breathe by itself? There is a seed coat outside. So does the seed undergo breathing, something like this? Does a seed undergo respiration? Yes or no? I just need a yes or a no answer. Does a seed breathe? Yes or no? Come on. That should be a fast answer. Nobody wants to answer this. Come on, take a guess. Does a seed, I want to ask you, seed is a living thing, right? So will this seed undergo oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange? Will it take oxygen and consume and give out carbon dioxide? Yes or no? Yeah, it will do this. But the question is, how will it do this? So please try to understand. On the seed, if you look carefully, put a seed in water. Put a seed in water. Okay. Yeah, they go under absorption. Yeah, very good. Yeah, they undergo, actually the process is imbibition. It's not absorption, it's actually imbibition. Okay. The name of the physical process is imbibition. But let me explain. So when you put the seed in water, the seed coat will start swelling. And on this seed coat, you will find there is a particular mark. This mark, or a scar-like structure, it is called the hilum. It is called the hilum. Now I told you earlier about placenta. I told you earlier about ovules. Ovules are attached to the mother plant by help of placenta. Now this seed coat has a scar tissue. And this is called hilum. It represents the point from which it was attached to the placenta. When the seed has fallen down, it is separated, hilum will remain. And just beside or just behind the hilum is a small pore called the micropyle. From micropyle, air will enter inside the seed coat. Otherwise, everywhere else, a seed coat of all plants, everything is waterproof and shockproof. Water and air, both will enter inside the seed from the micropyle. There, proteins will be present, starch will be present as storage food material inside the seed or the cotyledons. They will absorb this water, they will imbibe this water, and they will undergo change in volume. Okay, because these are colloidal substances. So, because of this pressure which is generating from the inside, seed coat becomes weak and ultimately the seed coat will break away. And now, the two cotyledons or the single cotyledon which is there in the case of monocots, the cotyledon will open up and the small plant embryo will be very clearly visible. So when you go home, put some sprouts in water, wait for 2-3 days, wait for a white colored structure to come out. This is the radicle. The radicle will develop into the root, the primary root or the tap root. Everybody remembers this. And after radicle goes into the soil, the two cotyledons will separate and shoot will develop. So plumule develops later, radicle develops first. So now let us perform this dissection of the plant as you call it. This is the hilum. Hilum, point of attachment to the parent plant. Behind hilum is the micropyle or the air pore. Now I am opening the seed, removing the seed coat. So now what will happen? What will I see? I will see that the two cotyledons are attached together, and here a small, very slightly greenish structure called the plumule is present. And below this, the radicle is growing like this. Okay. Now this axis which is passing through the two cotyledons, there is an axis passing through the two cotyledons, imaginary axis. This is called cotyledonary axis. Cotyledonary axis. This is imaginary axis. Above the cotyledonary axis, the plant part which is present, it is called epicotyl. Epicotyl or epicotyl. The lower part is called the hypocotyl. Middle point, this point is called mesocotyl. And this part is called plumule. Plumule. This part is called radicle. Okay. So what you say here is plumule develops from the epicotyl and radicle develops from the hypocotyl. I hope you're writing this, okay? Drawing this maybe. So please write this. Hilum is a scar on the seed coat. Hilum is a scar on the seed coat which represents point of attachment, from seed to fruit. Point of attachment between seed and fruit. Point of attachment between seed and fruit. Okay. Now let me ask you something. If I am talking about hilum, and hilum represents the point of attachment between mother plant and daughter plant, okay, so I am asking you this question, is there a scar tissue is there a scar mark on your body somewhere? Does anybody understand what I am trying to ask you here? Is there a scar mark present on the body of everyone? Just raise your hands if you understand my question. Is there a scar mark on your body as well? Just like hilum. Yeah. And can you also name it? Very good, Shillong and Itanagar. There is. And what is the name of that? Navel. Look at your navel. Take your hand out and put it on your navel. Okay. Navel is the point of attachment between mother and child. So this was the point from where you were attached to your mother. And after your umbilical cord was cut off, so umbilical cord belonged to the mother. It represents a point of attachment between both mother and child. So after your umbilical cord was cut off, your navel represents how your scar, how this wound which was inflicted you when you were born, this is the first wound upon your body, it has healed. So 90% or 80% people, yeah, I think 90% people, the scar tissue heals in such a way that the navel will curve inwards. And 10% people, their healing is in such a way, so their navel is going to heal in outward position. So they have a mark which is different from the other people. So most of the people have navel which is curved inwards. That is the first scar tissue on your body. Just like hilum. Okay. So all biology is very connected. It's a beautiful thing to understand. Okay. And above the hilum is a small pore called micropyle. Micropyle is very, very important. Micropyle. Okay. Micropyle. So micropyle is the breathing pore. It is the point from which air will enter the seed. Entry of water and air through micropyle. Water and air through micropyle. So if you keep your seeds in an airtight container for a long period of time, the seeds will die. They will not germinate. Okay, they will absorb the water, but they will not germinate because embryo will be dead. Okay, so the first part to come out of the seed is radicle, which develops into the taproot. So radicle comes only once in life and it forms the taproot. Okay. So this is the structure of dicot seed. This is the seed which I have showed you here. This is the dicot seed. Structure of dicot seed. So dicot seed has two cotyledons. These are two cotyledons. But when I say monocot has a single cotyledon. So can you see this cotyledon somewhere? Is there any way to see this cotyledon? have you seen the cotyledon of monocots? Anyone? Okay. So, how many people out of you like sweet corn? Boiled sweet corn. How many people of you like eating it or have eaten it? Okay. So, take some sweet corn today, put it in water, boil it, okay? And after you boil it, press the seed lightly. Press the seed, okay? And something dark yellow colored, a dark yellow colored part will come out from the seed. That is the single cotyledon. Okay, when you go home, take a sweet corn seed and press the seed. Press the seed lightly, and when you apply pressure on it, a dark yellow colored part will suddenly come out from the seed. That is your single cotyledon of the monocots. Understand? So, unfortunately, we are not able, because of the lack of time, we are not able to finish this. So, in the next class, I'll finish this and I will start anatomy. Okay? So, I'll give you notes as well regarding to this, and I've already given a lot of things regarding to this. So, I hope you find all that useful. Okay? So, let me know if you have any problems. Okay? So, thank you, students. See you in the next class, and until then, thank you.